What's up, everybody? It's Star Wars Andor Episode 6 spoiler review. Thanks for joining me here. I didn't get a chance to do the reaction and get around to it in time. I did watch the episode and wanted to do my spoiler review. We'll do Sith Council a little later on with spoiler discussion with me, Steph, and Mike, but I am going to give my thoughts here. And before we even do that, I wanted to thank Carbon Health for sponsoring this episode. If you didn't know, Carbon Health has over 110 locations nationwide. They have urgent care needs at all locations. They have advanced care for most urgent care facilities. They have the ability to handle x-rays on location, so you don't have to then go to somewhere else to get a review, an x-ray. They're awesome. And you can get tests. Everyone deserves a healthcare provider who is an active partner supporting your efforts to feel better and live healthier. And Carbon Health helps with that. So we're very excited to have them on board for these reviews and for our Big Thing episodes. So thank you to Carbon Health. All right, man. Let's get into it. This is a absolutely fantastic episode, and it does exactly what I knew that it would. How does anyone say this show is boring? Slow burn? I'll give it to you. But this is, and for anyone who says, well, this doesn't feel like Star Wars. Well, Star Wars should feel like this forever. It's so good. It is so good. And it's exactly what I thought, where it's the way that Tony Gilroy has talked about it at Star Wars Celebration and has clearly delivered on this. It's jab, jab, big right hook. Jab, jab, big right hook. And that's what he's done for 6 episodes. First 2 episodes, set up. Andor, got to figure it out. 3, get off the planet, go to your mission. 4, the mission starts. Start to introduce to the team. 5, figure out what the mission is. A little bit more, prepare for the mission, build out the characters. 6, the mission. And the mission delivers. You knew that people were going to eat it, and a lot of the people that you thought were going to eat it, ate it, but not in the way you thought that they would. Everything about it in the setup, even the way that they set up from the first episode where Andor's talking about how the Empire is fat and lazy and just thinks that they can't be destroyed. The Imperial in this, the main Imperial guy who winds up having a heart attack at the very end, that guy embodies everything Andor was talking about. Everything. If you go back and you watch that first episode or even the trailer when he says that, that's that guy. He is the embodiment of what the Empire is right now. He's got this thing. He just wants to get off the planet. He looks down on the locals. He talks down to his son. You know, it's the Empire where no one's going to touch us. We're going to do our thing. I'm going to get the hell out of here. And he doesn't even realize, he doesn't even see it. And that's what and Andor was talking about how even before he was a part of this, you just go in there, you go underneath under the system, you disguise yourself as one of them. They don't know. And that's exactly what happens in this. And when we lose our first guy, forget his name, but guy was the ex-stormtrooper and part of the team, and I was like, no, oh man, because he was militant, and he was giving the orders, but he was great. He was a great soldier. And when he crapped out, I felt myself a couple times go, no, and then Skeen almost gets shot. I'm like, no, and then Skeen turns out to be a scumbag at the end of it. I'm going to start with that, because that scene at the very end when Skeen is talking to Andor, and he's like, look, man, I know who you are. There is millions upon millions, $80 million in there, 80 million credits in there. 40 for you, 40 for me. Let's get at it. And he's like, and the line that really got me was when he was, what about your brother? He's like, I don't have a brother. Now, you can take that either way. Some people might take it like, oh, he was lying about it. But the way I took it was, no, my brother decided to take his own way out. I don't need to think about that anymore. I got to think about me. And Andor's listening to it, and before he can keep going on, Andor just Rogue Ones him, kills him dead. And how then that leads into where he goes in, he's like, I just want to get paid what I'm paid, because the main woman, who was running the whole operation, thinks right away, and rightfully so, that even Andor says, it's not what you think is going on here. And she calls him, she goes, you disgusting bastard. And that just like, oh, she called him a disgusting bastard. But when she realizes, because he says the scheme was going to leave you here. He's going to take the money. He's going to take off. She's like, that's not true. He's like, think about that. Is it not true? And then he's like, look, I just want to get paid what I was promised. Take the crystal back to dude, and then I'm just gonna take my money and I'm leaving. And she's like, well, wait a minute. If he's gonna leave me all the money, I'm just gonna take his money and give him back this crystal. All right, then I'm gonna give him the thing that Mouse wanted him to have. I call that kid Mouse because he was Mouse from Matrix. But that kid too, man. When the way that they did this, and again, as I said in the beginning of the review, you thought certain people were gonna die, but not in the way that they did. So again, Mouse. That save that he does, what a shot by that kid. He's laying on his back and he sees Andor getting choked out, or he's laying down, whatever. He's sort of decided. He takes out the soldier that is choking out Andor, and you're like, oh, okay, so it's they made it. The 4 of them made it out. Great. And then a freaking thing of credits crushes the kid. And he still, after the drugs, has the ability. That whole scene with the TIE fighters coming in, the TIE fighters, greatest sound of all time, but they're devastating. But what has always been the thing with TIE fighters is they're made like paper. One shot, boom, done. So when they're flying into the eye, and what an awesome scene that looked. I mean, how cinematic did that look? Anyway, so he's flying into it, and he's like, well, I need coordinates. Give me coordinates. So like, this kid is dying. Hold on, asshole. And so he's like, but I need somewhere. Where am I going? And then Mouse is like, fly. Just go up. Climb. He's like, well, climb the what? He's like, climb, stupid ass, climb. So Andor listens to him. He climbs up. They dive. And then the TIE fighters going into the eye and blowing up and all that. It was like, oh, it was edge of the seat stuff. And it was the build. That's what I'm talking about with this show. This show has been perfect build from 1, 2, boom, 3, 4, 5, boom, 6. It's like such a great, it's like a melody. I'm baffled by people who are just like, I don't know, slow. How do you find this show slow with delivery like this? How do you, I mean, I should say slow burn. Okay. Again. Okay. But boring. I don't get it. I just don't. But either way, you go through, they get out, they move out. And the mission is done. And you see Skarsgård laughing his balls off at the end because he realized it because now the Empire is like, okay, game on. Taking everybody, you're going home. Yeah, we're going to be working through midnight now. Call your families, tell them to F off. Mon Mothma's giving a speech. They're like in the middle of it. They're seeing the reports. They take off. She realizes shit's going down. So, I mean, all of that was just, it's like, yeah, now what's the new mission going to be? Which is going to be even more interesting. It's obviously they're going to be on the hunt, and Andor's out. Andor is out. He's like, one mission, I'm out. They're probably going to hunt him down again to figure out what it is. But like almost there, I mean, just the two women survive. Skeen eats it because he's a dummy. Mouse eats it, poor bastard. Like Stormtrooper eats it. Gorn, man, that guy was awesome too. And he's like, and I love that line when he's like, "You're gonna hang for this." He's like, after serving you for 8 years, I'm gonna do a lot worse. They should do a lot worse to me. And all of that whole entire lead up, and then how the natives are just disgusted. And I loved how proud they were just walking through going, yeah, all right, we're going to do this. But like, and then that juxtaposition and the back and forth of the natives kind of chanting as the eye's coming through, and then the mission as it's going through. And you see all the stuff that Tony Gilroy has been so good at in the past, right? And you see how it leads up, even like the music and the music cues, the sound cues, when they slap the technology on the bass up top and then running out of it. None of it seemed campy. It all seemed like this, like exactly what they pitched it to be. And it's like this spy thriller. And it's just, everything just kind of leads to that moment at the end and they all work together. And that was the thing. As I was watching the actual mission itself, I'm going, all right, who's turning on who now? Someone's gonna turn on somebody, and someone did turn, but it was after the mission. And that to me was like I said, things happen that you thought would happen, but they didn't happen in the manner that they happened, so they surprised you anyway. And that was great. I'm like, oh, okay, I thought that person would die. I didn't know they would die that way. I thought someone would turn, but I didn't know it was gonna come that way. I'm like, oh, no one turned. Oh, wait, he did turn. But he turned afterwards. He did the mission. He didn't do it in the middle of the mission like a dummy, like most of these people would do. He did it afterwards, after they were clear cut, done, over. It's like, yeah, okay, look, these people are dummies. Let's take the money. Let's get out of here. And Andor just shot him dead. That's the one time I wish that I would have had the reaction on me, because I was like, oh my God, Skeen, what'd you do? Because it was such a funny mix of emotions. Skeen's running through, getting shot at. I'm like, don't kill Skeen. And then Andor kills Skeen. I'm like, I had it coming. It was hilarious. I mean, in the way that they were able to do that. What a great performance by that guy too, by the way. But all of it, the entire lead, and even the leader, the woman, she's sitting out there and like, are we going? What are we doing here? And she stops and she goes, go, and it's on from there. Like even when I'm never good with character names, and not right away, but when her girlfriend comes through and shoots the dude who's holding everybody up, you're like, oh. It's like there's no pulling punches in this show. And there's no cheese. There's no cheese. And I know some people want a little cheese. I don't need cheese on this burger, guys. I don't need it. This is work. This show's working for me. And this episode was awesome. I mean, come on. And I'm curious. Even if you have found this show so far not for you, boring, and you stuck with it, there's no chance you thought this was boring, right? There's no chance. I can't imagine. And if so, why? Because I also firmly disagree with some people. Like, it doesn't feel like Star Wars. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is the most. The stormtroopers and the Empire were based off of not just Nazi Germany, like just kind of fascist regimes in general, but it didn't feel like that in this. Like, even the one scene when they're listening to the troops talking, it felt like a World War II movie where the Nazi troops are just, just treating the everyone else like insects. And the disgust for the Empire in general, and the way that it was, and the battle and the grittiness. I loved this episode. I really did. Thought this was an absolutely incredible episode. Maybe the best of the season so far. Everything leads up. And it's because I had so much investment. But now I ask you, what you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Please put your thoughts in there. I got to hear what you guys are thinking. Please, I want to hear. I got to hear. It is Andor, and it is an absolute phenomenal show, man. I'm really loving it, and I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. So please go ahead, comment. Once again, Carbon Health, thank you so much. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Thank you guys so very much. There it is. Please, the road to 70,000. We're trying to get there. So once again, thank you, everybody. It's Andor, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.